One Zambia, One Nation. Good evening and a warm welcome to tonight's edition of the main news on Zanis. My name is Kalan Muchima to present it. The headlines. Zambia pledged to support security wings. First ever fish ban effected on Lake Tanganyika. Chief Munyumbwe put to rest. Employers called to respect human rights. Those are the headlines, now the news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has called for strong political will and leadership on the African continent to support the needs of security wings in keeping countries safe. The head of state made the remarks when he officiated at the Managing Security Resources Africa workshop in Lusaka, where he noted that managing security, peace and stability is essential for the development of any country. Wope Sendwe now reports.
About 65 senior officials in charge of resource management for the security wings from 16 countries are meeting in Lusaka for a 5-day workshop. The workshop is aimed at finding key approaches for aligning of security resources with national security strategies in Africa. Officiating at the event, President Hakainde Hichilema urged the participants to share knowledge and experiences critical for upholding peace and security in Africa and the globe.
As Commander-in-Chief of our Zambian forces, I'm very clear in my mind the linkage that within the security apparatus that this platform critically occupies to our routine, to our mundane operations. The cooperation of the civilian wings are extremely important. Political side, political will, leadership, strong leadership to support your needs, to keep Zambia, to keep our region, Africa, and the globe safe is equally important. Because you may be skilled, if you don't have the support of the political leadership to get the resource envelope that you need to execute your mandate, then you are impaired.
President Hichilema stressed the need to utilize the best technologies available for enhanced security in various countries.
Technology allows us to do our work much easier now than ever before. It even makes it easy to do things we couldn't have been able to do 10 years ago. Let us utilize technology. The best technology available, so we can secure and provide stability in our territories and in the global community.
And United States Ambassador to Zambia, Michael Gonzalez, says the workshop provides an opportunity to build trust and friendships, a foundational relationship essential to maximizing regional cooperation.
The material that you will cover this week will stress the importance of having a robust national security strategy. But more importantly, by having all of you here from each of your nations, drawing on each of your respective backgrounds and your perspectives and talking about these issues, this workshop will provide an opportunity to build greater trust and friendship among us all. In order to move forward, nations must develop overarching strategies to ensure that they and their people have the necessary structures and safeguards in place to grow.
Wope Sendwe for Zanis News in Lusaka.
In a related development, the Malawian government has thanked Zambia for the assistance rendered to that country during the time it was hit by the cyclone Freddy that claimed at least 676 lives. Malawi Defense Minister Henry Mkandawire has told his Zambian counterpart Ambrose Lufuma in Lusaka today that President Lazarus Chakwera and the people of Malawi are grateful to Zambia for responding faced with food and non-food items for disaster victims. Details in this report by Jonathan Mukuka.
At least 676 lives were lost in Malawi following the cyclone Freddy that hit that country. Several others were left homeless and in dire need of food and shelter. Zambia was one of the first countries to respond to the call for assistance by donating food and non-food items for the victims of the cyclone Freddy in Malawi. Malawi Defense Minister Henry Mukandawile has visited Zambia to thank the Zambian people for the wonderful donation.
But what was pleasing one of the ministers is that Zambia, our neighbors, came in first. And I must confess, Zambia sent a lot of things.
Mr. Mukandawile, who was accompanied by the Army and Air Force commanders, said they are also in Zambia to learn how to prevent as well as to handle disasters in future.
As a way forward, yes, we are hit by a cyclone. We should be looking for what next. How do we manage future disasters? Because disasters will always be there.
Zambia's Defense Minister Mbrose Lufuma says Zambia looks forward to a more coordinated and collaboration with Malawi on various issues and programs.
The government of the Republic of Zambia was duty-bound to render first-hand humanitarian assistance to our sister country during the period of the crisis caused by Cyclone Freddy. Therefore, reiterate Zambia's desire to further strengthen and build on the excellent relationships.
Indeed, the Bible says generous hands are blessed hands because they give bread to the poor. Jonathan reporting for Zanis News in Lusaka.
Still in the news, 2023 marks the 30th anniversary of World Press Freedom Day. 3 decades have passed since it was proclaimed in December 1993 by the United Nations General Assembly. Journalists from around the world will tomorrow commemorate this day under the theme Shaping the Future of Rights, of Freedom of Expression as a Driver for All Human Rights. Muna Mbonge talked to some journalists ahead of tomorrow's event and brought us this report.
World Press Freedom Day was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in December 1993, following the recommendation of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO's General Conference. Since then, 3rd May is celebrated worldwide as World Press Freedom Day. May 3rd acts as a reminder to governments of the need to respect their commitment to press freedom. It is also a day of reflection among media professionals about issues of press freedom and professional ethics. Media Institute of Southern Africa, Mr. Zambia National Director, interprets this year's theme for World Press Freedom Day.
This year's theme comes at the right time when we need to protect the freedom of expression, which is enshrined in our Constitution, because it is a precursor for all other rights. I would also like to say that as journalists, we have a lot of challenges which stop us from executing our duties. Some of the challenges we have is lack of clear of this legal framework. Until 2020, we had no media policy in Zambia. And even the media policy that was launched in 2020 is very incomprehensive. Also, journalists, they face lack of funding. When you are doing investigative journalism, it's very expensive, and you find we don't have institutions or media houses that can fund investigative journalism. And lack of protection. As I said, we had so many number of media violations, and we saw that very few or very little was done by state actors to protect the journalists.
And Internews Zambia Programs Officer explains the importance of access to information bill.
To say when people are informed, then they can promote all other human rights. I mean, if there's no information, there's no freedom of the press or freedom of expression per se, then, there are no human rights, because there's no dialogue between the office bearers and also maybe the general populace, the community, the society at large. So we're feeling as Internews that it cannot come at a better time in terms of trying to champion the issues around human rights as well.
Meanwhile, founder of the Free Press Initiative, highlights the challenges that journalists in Zambia are currently facing.
Just to ensure that at least on this day, there has to be someone who, hear out the message and know that there's something that has gone wrong that needs to be paid attention to. By having one day where people wear t-shirts, march, and then it ends there. At the end of the month, I give a journalist 500 kwacha and then say they're happy. I don't think that really is something that should make us happy or something that we should even celebrate about. It's something that should make us sad that we have those things happening where someone would have gone through formal training, 3-4 years in university or in a college, do training, and only to come out to an industry that is going to give you, for lack of a better term, a salary that's just like an insult. I think that really just doesn't sit very well for me.
This year's special 30th anniversary celebration of World Press Freedom Day is therefore a call to recenter press freedom, as well as independent, pluralistic and diverse media as key to the enjoyment of all other human rights. For Zanis in Lusaka, I'm Mona Mbonge.
In Northern Province, the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock is this month expected to conduct the first ever fish ban on Lake Tanganyika. The ministry has since held a popularization campaign to explain the implementation of the regional charter with Lake Tanganyika Authority, member states on sustainable fish management measures. Here's a report.
Lake Tanganyika, which is located in Nsama and Mpulungu districts of Northern Province, has never experienced the annual fish ban. This has resulted in the depletion of fish stocks on the lake. The Ministry of Fisheries in Zambia, working with other countries sharing Lake Tanganyika, have since agreed to conduct the first ever fish ban.
When we close, it's not only the fishers and others that are going to lose out, even the government in terms of revenue. They get revenue also. They've been asking, now, this is 3 months, how are we going to cover? But they said, yes, we shall move together because the results will be better, more than what the 3 months training provides.
Government has pledged to support the fish ban.
The fish catches we are seeing today are far much less than those we saw in the years past. For this reason, our government is very committed to this very important Lake Tanganyika Authority member states initiative, the regional charter, whose aim is to, among other things, eradicate illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing on Lake Tanganyika.
The Lake Tanganyika Fisheries Management Project is happy with the political will towards the implementation of the ban.
This program contributes to consolidating the achievement of the country of regional in favor of sustainable fishing that generates growth and jobs and thus makes fishing and driving sector of our economies.
Christine Mselu, reporting for Zanis.
Still in Northern Province, Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu has noted with happiness how some beneficiaries of the social cash transfer program, particularly people living with disabilities, are utilizing the money. Mr. Mpundu observed this when he monitored some social cash transfer beneficiaries in Mbala, Mpulungu, and Senga Hills districts. The Provincial Permanent Secretary was also impressed with how some beneficiaries have maximized the money by starting up productivity ventures. Geoffrey Piri has more in the following report.
Some persons with disabilities are synonymous for using their disability to be begging. But this is not the case for these people of Umbala, Sengahiwa and Mpulungu districts, who have become shining examples in their communities. This is because they have used the grants that government provides to them under the social cash transfer program to improve their lives.
Nasambirisha omwana wandi nafika grade 10 umo mumpie ishine na ine na isafu yakona artificial eyi mumpie ishine na shitako ne misumeno iri itatu ne mapulanga ndalepula na mabala na alilima yengi sana.
Richard Mazimba of Sengahiwa invested part of his money in business and also built these houses, which he has put on land. Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu, who was on a monitoring visit of the social cash transfer program, is happy with beneficiaries.
The money is helping those we feel and felt maybe they were very vulnerable and poor to come out of poverty into a higher notch. They are able to look after themselves, they are able to support their children to school, they are able to do many other economic activities.
The Department of Social Welfare is happy with the utilization of funds by beneficiaries and reviewed plans to add more people on the program.
It's just an assurance for those who have not been part of this program that very soon, just prepare, our officers will be on the ground to register more people on the scheme.
Geoffrey Pidi reporting for Zanis in Sengahiwa District, Northern Province.
Now, Chief Munyumbwe of the Tonga-speaking people of Gwembe District has been put to rest in Hanyimbo village of Munyumbwe Chiefdom. Hundreds of mourners, including government officials, church leaders, and the community gathered at a church service at Munyumbwe to pay their last respect to the late chief who had reigned from 1971 till his death on 26th of April 2023. Southern Province Minister Cornelius Mweto and Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Malongo Chisangano, represented government at the burial. Details in the following report.
It is a moment of great sorrow for the people of Gwembe District, particularly the subject of Munyumbwe Chiefdom, as they witness the ceremonial send-off of their chief who linked the chiefdom for about 52 years. Chief Munyumbwe, Bernard Milambo Hanyimo, who died on April 26, 2023, has been put to rest at a private burial site in village Hanyimbo as per tradition. The burial was preceded by a Catholic church service attended by thousands of mourners across the country.
So everybody wants to be a chief. Yeah, so we are losing respect for chiefdoms. Isn't that better? Chief Munyumbwe deserves respect.
I want to appreciate and thank the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, for actually facilitating the movement of the remains of His Royal Highness, Chief Munyumbwe from Osaka, to here in Gwembe using a chopper.
For government, Chief Munyumbwe was not only a traditional leader, but also recognized him as a seasoned lawmaker, as he was the first member of parliament for Gwembe constituents, among other portfolios he held in the UNIP government.
President Hakainde and his administration would like to urge this particular royalty that we should honor the chief by mourning him in peace and ensure that whatever succession plan that will come about because of what has happened should be one that dignifies the chiefdom and also one that will allow for development to continue.
But Chief Munyumbwe was very hard on Early child marriages.
For traditional leaders in the province, Chief Munyumwe was a beacon of wisdom.
And we're quite saddened with the passing away of Her Royal Highness, who's been in the position of Royal Highness for this area for a very long time, since the early 70s. So we're with the family, just to commiserate with them, to express to them our grief and our sadness at the passing away of Chief Munyumwe.
Gifty Banji, Zanis, in Gwembe District, Southern Province.
Now, in our environmental news, an entrepreneur who is manufacturing floor tiles, paves and fencing poles using plastic waste says the project has the potential to eradicate plastic from the environment. Plastic Pave Zambia Chief Executive Officer Lwenga Mulela says her project can be used as one of the measures to clean and preserve the environment. Lakson Makosa has the rest of the details in this report.
The indiscriminate disposal of waste plastics remains a huge challenge and pressing environmental issue. Plastic pollution is a common feature which is visible in most parts of Lusaka City, as the environment is littered with non-biodegradable plastic waste such as plastic bags and containers. The situation has been compounded following the increased production of disposable plastic products. In a bid to supplement efforts of authorities in eradicating plastic pollution and preserving the environment, an entrepreneur has seized the opportunity of the availability of plastic waste and has ventured into production of pavers, boards, and fencing poles. The innovative products being made out of plastic waste is aimed at reducing the burden of plastic pollution.
We use different types of plastic. We've got the containers, it's called PET, the clear bottles. We've got these vigubus, we use the local language, buckets, dishes. Then we also use film plastic, which is called low density polyethylene. So as long as it's waste and as long as it's plastic, this is the home. This is where now we recycle it into sustainable, eco-friendly products that we can use, to build, to pave our streets, to build our fences, and a lot of other uses as well.
On the other hand, the recycling of plastic waste has created job opportunities for people who pick the littered plastic bags and containers. With financial support from financial lending institutions, this plastic venture has the potential to grow and create the much-needed job opportunities in the country.
Upon the line ministries to try and help such entrepreneurs who are helping to keep the environment clean. On top of that, I think the banks would tell a better story to carry Lwendo's project as their own, finance her, grow her into a multinational entrepreneur.
Business ventures that aim at protecting the environment from pollution or degradation should be supported, as they also create livelihood opportunities for low-income communities. For Zanis, I'm Lakson Makosa.
Take you to Central Province, where the Provincial Permanent Secretary Miuna Mwanakampwe has expressed concern at the deplorable state of the Great North Road, especially the stretch between Kabwe and Mpika. Mr. Mwanakampwe said the road has become a death trap and wondered why people have continued to bring in politics over the construction of the dual carriageway when the government wanted the best for its people. Mr. Mwanakampwe was speaking shortly after visiting Mukushi Hospital mortuary, where the bodies of the 10 accident victims who died in a head-on collision accident involving a Toyota Corolla and a RAV4 are being kept. He said the Great North Road is one of the busiest highways and the need for a timely solution to make the road safe is imminent. The Permanent Secretary has since appealed to citizens to detach politics from national development, especially the construction of the dual carriageway. Meanwhile, Mukushi District Commissioner Jonathan Kapungwe has appealed to the government to quickly turn the Mukushi Hospital mortuary into a cold room to provide enough space for accident victims who died on the Great North Road. Mr. Kapungwe said the district has been facing challenges in terms of a space because the mortuary at Mukushi only accommodates 3 bodies.
And this is why
frankly speaking, it just breaks my heart to see people that want to politic over roads. When we want to do a dual carriageway, you see people who want to politic. Why? When we have so many deaths that are happening like this, because the road is not in a good state. And when the president is doing everything to make sure that the road is in a state that his people are able to move properly, people want to bring politics. Let's detach these things. National development must come first. God's people must come first. So we are heartbroken indeed, and more than heartbroken.
Crying for CDF that we turn this room into a cold room, so that we create space. This will be a cost transporting people from Mukushi to Masansa in Luano, which is about 56 kilometers. And again, at the time of claiming the bodies, we will send a vehicle, bring them here. We are only appealing, I'm sure the council representative is here, who is representing the council secretary. Please take this. This is a matter of urgency.
Police in Luwingu district of Northern Province have arrested a 35-year-old witch doctor of Lusaka district for allegedly stealing a motor vehicle and obtaining money by false pretense. Northern Province Police Commissioner Gloria Mulele confirmed that Evans Kangwa of Chaisa compound in Lusaka, popularly known as Dr. Salapo, is believed to have stolen a motor vehicle in Lusaka, which he was allegedly using in Luwingu district. Ms. Mulele disclosed that the motor vehicle, which is a BMW with registration number BAD 2542, has since been recovered while the suspect is detained in police custody. Police also confirmed that the suspect has been on the wanted list for various cases of obtaining money by false pretense from unsuspecting members of the public. A 33-year-old man of a Fisonga area in Chitambo district who has been left bedridden after his left leg was amputated is appealing for well-wishers to aid him with mobility and financial support to care for his 3 children. Sandra Mulenga talked to Adam Saidi and filed in this report.
The government has put in place programs aimed to better the lives of the poor and marginalized members of society, such as social cash transfer. However, several individuals still remain unrecognized. This is the case for 33-year-old Adam Said, who has been battling with diabetes for the past 2 years, which has now led to the amputation of his left leg. Chitambo District Commissioner Evans Chola, in the company of other officers, visited Mr. Said. He has a plea to government and well-wishers.
I am asking for help of a wheelchair and a bicycle to help me move around and go to the hospital. The crutches I am using are paining my arms and my ribs hurt as well.
I'm also asking for help in taking care of my husband. It has not been easy to care for him for the past 3 years. And Chitambo District Commissioner Evans Chola called for assistance to be given to Mr. Said.
Unfortunately, that a person at a tender age like this one can lose the leg. And that is every time complaining, a lot of pains. So it's true that we need just to cry to anyone who wishes to come on board and assist our young man here with what he has complained about, mobility, and even how to take care of the family. Also to thank the government, because government has promised this free education, which I know that will be able to take care of the children here. And that our government is there to make sure that they are taken care of, even using social cash transfer.
Sandra Mangamlinga reporting for Zanis in Chitambo District, Central Province.
On that rather sad note, we've come to the end of the Zanis news. But before we go, a look at the headlines once again. Zambia pledged to support security wings. First ever fish ban effected on Lake Tanganyika. Chief Munyumbwe put to rest. Employers called to respect human rights. Thank you so much for your company. On behalf of everybody involved in this production, my name is Kala Nchima. God bless you. Have a pleasant viewing. Bye-bye.